All right, this is another equation, but this one has more than one x in the problem. You've got 7x plus 6 on the left and 3x minus 18 on the right, and you gotta somehow narrow it down to just 1x. Now, it doesn't matter if you want to get rid of the 7x or if you want to get rid of the 3x. Some people always get rid of the x on the right side, so that when you're done on that last line, it'll say x equals whatever your answer is, instead of whatever your answer is equal to x. It really doesn't matter. So if I want to get all my x's on one side and I subtract the 3x over 3x technically is 0. And 0 minus 18 leaves you with the minus 18. Don't lose this negative sign here. Don't lose that. It's still with the 18. But what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So I'm going to line up the minus 3x underneath its like term of 7x. And if you have 7x's and you take away 3x's, you will be left with 4x's. And then don't forget that this plus 6 is still there. And so now I've gone from an equation with 4 terms, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, down to an equation with just 3 terms, and this one looks similar at this point to number 23. I call this a two-stepper because I've got 2 steps left. I got to get rid of that 6 and I got to get rid of that 4. And it's easier to get rid of the 6 because to get rid of the 4, you have to divide by 4, but everybody would have to be divided by 4. The 6 and the negative 18. And 4 doesn't divide into either of those evenly, which means you've just entered fraction land. So a lot of people don't like fractions and they would rather wait until the very last step to run into fractions. So I would wait and divide off that coefficient last. So my next step would be get rid of the 6. Since it's a plus 6, turn around and subtract 6. Because a plus 6 and a minus 6 cancel each other out. And so the left side is just 4x. And the negative 18 minus 6 more would be negative 24. And now my last step is divide off the 4. Since that 4 is multiplied onto the x, you would have to turn around and divide by 4 to cancel it out. Multiplying and dividing are opposites of each other. Just like up on the previous step, right here on this, when I did a minus 6, it's because I wanted to cancel out a plus 6. Adding 6 and subtracting 6 are opposites of each other. They cancel each other out. So, and of course 4 over 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. I've got 1x, or just x. A negative 24 divided by a positive 4 is a negative 6. So this should be my answer. Again, the nice thing about equations is you can check them. You want to know if the x you just found, if you multiply it times 7 and then add it to 6, will that, this is a big question mark, will it still equal the 3 times that number minus 18? So we're going to take out the x's on both sides and plug in the negative 6 that we just got, and we just work them separately. Following order of operations on the left side, the 7 times the negative 6 is a negative 42, and negative 42 plus 6 is a negative 36. Over here, 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Negative 18 minus another 18 is also negative 36. This checks out. So this is my answer. X should equal a negative 6.